Any update on Trevor's foot?
Yeah, I mean, day to day, getting treatment every day, and just progressing in the right direction.
You gonna practice today?
No, we'll just keep him out today. Even though, tempo-wise, it's more walkthrough tempo. He'll get all the mental reps today, but nothing from the standpoint of, moving around.
What's the level of concern of him playing on Sunday?
I mean, obviously, when it's your quarterback, and any player, there's a level of concern. But, we still got several days, before the game. But, he's tough, and he'll do everything he can, I know, in his power to try to be out there. But we'll just take it day by day.
Confidence level in C.J. Beathard if Trevor can't go?
Great. My confidence level is high, in him. What he's shown, he's a veteran guy. He's been in these situations before in his career, so he's not. It's not unfamiliar territory to him. He's well versed in the offense and a lot of confidence in him.
Helpful when you got a backup that's experienced in filling in, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had that in Philly, and everywhere I've been, I was one of those backup guys, so I know the role oh too well.
Trevor was pictured last night. He has like a black, soft cast on. I was just curious if you could kind of.
It's not a cast. It's more of just a protective shoe.
Okay.
Is really what it is, and it's just to keep his foot mobilized or immobilized, right now, just for healing.
When you do get him on the practice field, what do you need to see from him to give you confidence that he might be ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously mobility, just to see him move around, but we're this far down the road that he'll get all the mental reps. He'll study the tape. He'll be prepared that way. But just, the physical side of it, just moving around.
Game week prepping for the Titans. Does a turnover at GM for them change how you prepare for this game at all? I mean, does that impact it?
We don't play the GM.
Unfortunately, Trent
and
kicking some butt.
I'll tell you, this is a good football team now, and our guys better be prepared and ready to go. They're well coached. I know Vrabel well. And they feed off of him and his excitement and enthusiasm, and it's a disciplined group, and it's very much like that Baltimore type game. It's going to be a 60-minute football game. It's going to be a physical football game, and our guys need to understand that.
Well, that's kind of taken.
I'm sorry. What did Trevor's MRI show?
Oh, I didn't read it, so I don't know.
They didn't tell you
I'm not
straight
what do you
foot,
call it?
ligament,
I'm not that
anything
doctor that reads those things.
You don't get
I mean, it's his toe. It's his, it's his big toe. It's the joint, and I guess technically speaking, it's a sprained toe. Whatever that means. I wasn't the radiologist that read the MRI. So
I figured they would have told you.
yeah.
Are the Titans a good example of a team kind of taking on the personality of their coach?
100%. They definitely feed off of him, and much like last week with Detroit, I think they feed off their coach as well, and this is no different. This is that same type of group, and again, this team's been around a while. They got players that have played together for a long time, and you see it on tape when you watch them, and again, it's a disciplined group, a solid group, both sides of the football, and we have to have a great week.
Every game is, line of scrimmage type game. Is it more so with the Titans, who seem to just have that smash mouth personality about them on the offensive, really on both sides of the ball?
I would agree. I think games like this, the trenches, as they say, control the line of scrimmage becomes important, and the ability to tackle, Derek. I mean, he's a big physical running back, and it's going to take all 11 defensively to do that, and but it definitely starts both sides of the ball, offensive line controlling their D line, and then of course our defensive line against their offensive line. The trenches is a big part of this game.
Derek's been pretty much a feast or famine back in all games, including games with the Jaguars. What are you seeing on tape for the people that are just that are holding him to 18 carries for 47 yards as opposed to the ones that are 21 for 178?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is you understand that they want to run the football, and they pride themselves on that. They do a great job of running the football, and so you see more people, in and around the box. You're seeing, corners, having to tackle, and and that's what I mean by all 11, making plays and supporting the run. The one thing though that they've been able to do, a little bit in the screen game, with him is come off of that with play action and then screen to him, and he's been able to get some explosive, carries that way, and they find enough ways to get him the football, other than just handing it to him, and so that's why I think from a defensive standpoint, just understanding what they're trying to do, studying the film, have a great week of practice and preparation, and go play.
Do you expect your defense to be mentally on point after what happened last week?
I hope so. It's going to be my job this week to make sure that everybody's on point. That's not who we are, last week, and I know that's not who Tennessee is, that game they had last week. So, two teams that are probably a little upset, coming together, and it should be a good football game.
Did you sense a sense of upset or frustration coming in on Monday, or maybe like more of like a need to prove it this week than previous weeks?
I don't think it's necessarily a need to prove it. I think it's the upset. I think disappointment. I think the embarrassment. That's what you put on film question. And that's for everybody. That's coaches, players. That's everybody. And that's the sense that I felt Monday. But once you get through it and you focus on the next week's opponent, you put it behind you. You learn from it, and get ready for another opportunity.
Not having Andre because of the shoulder injury kind of, I'm sure, changed the personnel a little bit, knowing that Dewey had to step in and maybe you couldn't slide Rayshawn as much. When you look at the success you guys had in stopping the Ravens, do you go back on that as now you look to stop Derrick Henry?
Yeah, that was a big part of that game plan, that week, and it's going to have to be this. We're hopeful. I mean, Andre, Cisco's going to be a day-to-day candidate again this week, and I'm optimistic that he'll go. It did move some things around last week. It took Andrew, and it took DT, Daniel Thomas, playing defense a little bit more, taking away from special teams. So it's sort of that domino effect on your football team, and it affects a lot of areas. So we're hopeful that Cisco can go and again solidify that secondary. Andrew will fill in when necessary, or in three safety packages, but it's the same type of mindset we had, for Baltimore.
How would you assess the third corner spot right now? I know it's kind of been a revolving door. How would you assess?
I think it's improving. I think we did give up the one shot the other day in a three deep coverage that we should have just made a technique error on that, but. These guys are getting a little more comfortable and confident there. We do have to – I would prefer it to be one guy, obviously, and I think, Mike would be the same there. And so we're working through that, but, these guys are getting valuable time, valuable reps, and I think they're improving.
Hey, Doug, this franchise has never had a good record against the AFC South, ever. How important is this big picture for you in your first year to go win some AFC South games? You haven't beaten anyone but the Colts since 2019.
Listen, it's important. It's important. You got to be able to win your division. You got to be able to take care of the business there. This is a good division. Obviously, Tennessee's on top right now, and everybody's chasing them. And it's just. That's, a lot of times, too, even in the offseason, you focus on your division opponents a little bit, and then spend time sort of studying them. And, but when you get into the regular season, I do believe the mindset changes a little bit. And there is a sense of urgency, when you play your division. And I know it was that way, when I was in the NFC East. Every time you played Giants, Washington, and Dallas, it was that way. And it's no different. Here with Houston and Indy and now Tennessee. So that sets urgency, and you want to win every game, but more importantly, you want to be able to win your division.
When Tom first built the Jaguars, he built them to go compete with the Steelers. Are the Titans that team in this division, or is it the Colts? They're the standard bearers. So
I think Tennessee the last couple of seasons has been the team, right? They're the ones that have been kind of carrying the torch, and I think that's the team that we're all kind of chasing. Indy has been kind of in that second spot there, and yeah, we're trying to get there. We're trying to build it, and hopefully one day be the ones that everybody else is kind of chasing.
Do you, big picture, the division looks like a mess. One team
Thank you.
fired its GM, the other team already fired its head coach, the other team's lost 7 in a row. You guys, do you feel like big picture, like that you guys aren't as far as maybe the standings would show right now?
I'd like to say yes. I don't think we're not light years away. We're close. This season's different, a couple games, but it's not. In all things that we can control and improve. But do I believe that we still have an opportunity? I do. I do. I also believe that the players believe that. And look, it's we say this all the time that control what you can control, right? It's about us. Prepare to win. And just keep it simple. Keep it simple, and you can't worry about the outside world. You can't worry about what people are saying about you. You just got to put your head down and go to work and try to improve each week.
Is this one as close to do or die as it can get in this league? In week 13?
You're running out of opportunities, and we got 5 games, 3 division opponents, and 2 games against the same team. So, you're looking up and going, you're running out of chances.
Last one on Trevor. If he doesn't practice all week, could he still play? Is that still, you allow that?
I believe so, yeah. I think at some point this week he'll probably see the practice field, but again, we've got time, and I want to make sure that he feels comfortable and he's physically ready to go.
Did you have any additional conversations with Mike or the defensive staff at all after last week's performance?
Other than our normal conversations on Monday, we talk a lot about different personnel groupings, packages. We talk, the play. We talk, a lot, and it's nothing out of the ordinary, to have those conversations and just to kind of see how they felt versus how I felt, and bring that all together and come up with another plan this week to try to win the game.
Do you kind of look at last week as a one-off, not a case of like issues that have been simmering that came to the forefront, or is it a little of both?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I do think it's one of those games that's kind of that one-off, that you just put it in the trash can and light it on fire and forget about it, and move on. And, you don't want too many of those every season, but sometimes there's that one that kind of gets you, and hopefully that was our one, and I'm confident too. Our guys, they'll respond. They're embarrassed, honestly. They know, they understand. I don't have to sit there and point it out. These guys are professional, and they want to get back on track.
Any change in how you prep this week on defense? Just, I know you don't want to put too much on that Lions game, but just how you guys might prepare.
No, I'm a big believer in consistency, and you just listen. Preparation just comes down to, taking it from the classroom to the practice field, right? Executing the first and second down base game plan today. Make the corrections in the afternoon. Come back tomorrow. You've got a couple of days, right? So you don't have to change your process, but you do maybe have to focus in a little bit more. Understand, again, like we mentioned, the sense of urgency of what this week means, to the team, to the organization, and just put your head down and go to work.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, guys.